Good morning, happy Saturday. It's Tim Wild's Saturday Ascension update. Normally on a Friday, as you know, but I wasn't around. So, how's the Lionsgate energy been for you all? How's it flowed? How do you feel? Are you in a different place now than you were prior to the Lionsgate opening? Now, usually when we get this period of time, the galactic core and Sirius lines directly with our planet, and there's an incredible flood of light. Well, that's happened, and it's happened in a different way this time. It's the integration, the actual assimilation of the light is a much more natural process for a lot of us than it used to be. The first upgrades that we started receiving after the cosmic moment were very juddery. They were felt so physically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually within our world, and sometimes it would take us a while to kind of get back and recover from that. But this year, and I always tend to gauge my personal experience to be also the experience of the field, it's been a lot smoother. The energy that's coming in is so different. It's the frequency of it. Whenever we experience an energy or a vibration or a quality of light that is higher than it was previously, the higher we go, the smoother it becomes. Now, this might be kind of like a little bit of a paradox compared to a lot of our personal experiences, but high frequency energy is very subtle. It's almost imperceptible. We haven't learned to yet process it and actually receive it on a conscious level in a way that we can say, right, okay, that's that energy coming in. So it's the gold ray of Christ. So it's the Mahatma energy. The higher these frequencies come in, the more subtle and fluid and beautiful, but also unrelatable on our conscious perspective they become. So this gateway has opened a flood of the most incredible light down to our planet. You might be looking at what's going on in your personal country around you. So, you know, I'm in the south of the UK, and politically and kind of on an emotional level, there's a huge rising in kind of like this volatility, this change. So many people are expecting this kind of surge to come in that's going to kind of put them on their back heel, and might already be so. But we're not dealing with the same templates and the same frameworks that we used to. And once you start stepping into this higher energy and using it, creating with it, being within it over the course of your day, all of these aspects of 3D seem to melt away. Doesn't mean that they don't affect us, it doesn't mean that we're not part of it, but it does mean that we are not being triggered and controlled by it in the same way that we were. So not only did we receive this incredible quantity of light from the Lionsgate, but if you're still playing catch up with my previous video, something absolutely monumentous happened on the 8th. The gateways to Telos opened underneath Mount Shasta, which is quite incredible because usually the focus of any Lionsgate or any solstice or any of the incoming energies is usually directed at the heart chakra of the planet, which is Avalon. And this time it went over in the direction of Mount Shasta, and Mount Shasta saw the gates of Telos underneath open, and outpoured the Lemurians who've been living at that frequency within Hollow Earth or Inner Earth for over 260,000 years, and they've returned for the next phase of the process. They are working only on the higher frequency picture. They're not having anything to do with what's going on with the kind of the detachment of the matrix. That's our responsibility. What we're unplugging from and what we're no longer engaging with is our responsibility. We're also very much responsible for honouring what we've agreed to do on the next phase of our ascension process, our soul contracts. And again, in line with the Lionsgate energies, we've had a step up. So many of you, although you will be just carrying on your everyday process, on an inner level, on a soul level, on a higher level, you will have gone, right, okay, it's crunch time now. This is the second half of the shift from 3D to 5D. I'm getting my master boots on, meaning a lot of the previous 10 years has been integration, it's been process, it's been doing the shadow work, it's been sorting out our relationship with ourselves so that we can then reflect at a higher level to those that are around us. So the majority or the bulk of that period, and I can hear the cheers now, are technically over. It doesn't mean that we're not going to go through any processes at all, because we've all got our own personal process. We've all got our resistances, our blockages, the things we've got to clear and the things we've got to work through and let go of. But ultimately the bulk of the earth clearance, the detachment from the old matrix has actually occurred now. So instead of having this very kind of, almost like this cyclonic storm layer around the planet, which occurred, it was set up exactly 3 years ago by Merlin, the Intergalactic Council, and quite a few of the dragons as well. This huge clearance process occurred for 3 years, and within that period of time we had the entire planet kind of shifting, going into lockdowns, all of these different things occurring in our different countries all over the globe. But ultimately it sealed the deal with the establishment of the fifth dimensional matrix. It was the point where millions of souls detached from the previous reality and began to realize that the only way to actually move through this is to start creating at a higher level. The next wave of soul wake-ups is occurring as we speak, as you are listening to this. So initially it was just kind of 1 or 2 groups. We had the way showers who were awake before the cosmic moment, the 21st of December 2012. Then we had the group that I called the Sentinels, who began to awaken shortly after the 21st of December 2012. And they were kind of like, wow, the vibrations change, it's my time to wake up and go to work. But since the vibration has been rising sharply and in allocated periods of time, lots more groups are being triggered. And this is all down to soul contract. One, you might be alongside somebody who a month ago seemed to be completely immersed, completely drawn in by the media, completely tuned into 3D, and something would have happened. A light bulb will have gone on. Changes will be beginning to occur. So one of the first signs of this actually occurring is kind of an increase in erratic behaviour, kind of rationality leaving the building, and quite a lot of anger, flux occurring within people. And we're seeing a lot of that as well. Somebody asked me the other day, what happens to the people? What happens to the people on this planet who are trying to ignore the energies, who essentially don't want to wake up, they want to stay in 3D? What's life like for them? Are they living in a different reality? Well, yes, they are. They're plugged into a completely different computer system, but it doesn't change the fact that we're sharing this world, and the energies we're all privy to it. So it's a little bit like, and this is an analogy that I've used many, many times over the years. If you took a cup of water, not a metal cup, just a normal cup, and you placed it within a microwave, and very slowly you began to eke the kind of the wattage up, the kind of the amount of energy that you're putting into that water via the microwave machine. And that's very much what's happening here, and what's been happening for the last 10 years. You've got everybody within this kind of this reality who are all being cooked cooked by these incredible energies. And as you raise the frequency, the molecules of light, or the structure of the light, and certainly the molecules of the body, begin to vibrate faster, very much like how a microwave cooks food or heats liquid. Everything begins to vibrate faster. So living in a lower state of consciousness is becoming incredibly difficult. Okay, this is why we're seeing the fracturing of the way that society is being is built together. This is why the change is occurring. It's not occurring just randomly. These aren't random happenings. These are all clinically planned and have been for a very long time. The main part of what we do is very, very important at the moment. Okay, coming out the other side of the Lion's Gate, a lot of us are going, right, well, what's next? What are we supposed to do? Retain your vibration and keep doing the work that you're doing. Okay, there is nothing more important at the moment than staying in a high frequency. This isn't spiritual fluff. This isn't burying your head in the sand and keeping yourself away from the kind of the issues of the world. They will be there regardless of what we're doing while we are sharing this reality. What our job is to do is to manifest the highest outcome with the energies that we are being given, and this incredible amount of help. So I've detracted slightly. So we've got the presence of the Lemurians working alongside us from a higher frequency, but actually helping us to guide and steer and build meticulously the next phase of the process. The Lemurians were very, very good at and they are very, very good at what they do. They are extremely loving and very careful their craftsmanship, their ability to build with energy, their ability to create structures from a point of love is incredible. That's why they were asked to deal with setting up the foundations of the Atlantean era. Now, the Atlantean era, as some of you know your history, lasted for 260,000 years. There was a 10,000 year setup, which meant nothing was occurring apart from the work that was being poured into it. Then we had the rise and fall 5 times of Atlantis, and then the 10,000 years of the deconstruction of that energy finished on the 21st of December 2012. That's why the cosmic moment was so momentous. There's many momentous dates, but that was the end of what was known as the Atlantean experiment, or the Atlantean era. So for the last 10,000 years, we've been spread around the world doing our various things, even sort of like going through the various ages that we've had, seeing the rise and falls of these incredible civilizations, a lot of them that aren't documented within history, or certainly not documented accurately. And all of this during this time was an exploration through 3D, and also the finishing off period for the Atlantean era. So we're 10 years into building this new golden era, and everything around us looks and feels on a 3D level like chaos. But what are you feeling in your heart when you tune into what you are, what you're creating, and what you're part of? What sense of energy do you have? If it is not a positive feeling, if it is something that you are maybe feeling a little bit fearful, a little bit anxious, or a little bit uncertain of, where is that feed coming in from? Is it coming in from the media? Is it coming in from the opinions of other people? Is it coming in from something that you might have been programmed with, or might be carrying from your previous incarnations, having experienced things like the fall of Atlantis or the fall of Rome, or all of these other things that have occurred, the rising and the falling or the collapsing of societies. We're not due on our frequency to experience this landslide, this collapse, these icings over. We're here to create with this very bright, fine, golden white kind of diamond, rainbow, crystalline energy that we've got coming in. And we're working alongside these incredible master builders in order to do so. The souls that are here to assist us are very, very good at what we're doing, what they're doing. We're very good at what we're doing. We're remembering how good we are at doing that job, and that's the most difficult part. Breaking out of the third dimensional matrix, the actual occurrence that we're in at the moment was planned. It was also discussed. The Intergalactic Council sat around a table musing and kind of stroking their beards and go, well, what's this actually going to be like? We've never done it before. Because living on Earth, you are subject to the laws of free will, polarity, the possibility that unfactored occurrences might happen simply because other people are not adhering to the same set of rules and regulations that you are. So things can easily exceed their creative potential. Things can easily go off and flying off in another direction because that's the way that Earth has operated. That's why a lot of people have been caught up in karmic cycles that seemingly endlessly go round and round and round, like grinding out the same lessons. And it's because the way that Earth was structured became so highly pressurized that a lot of us, with the best intentions and the best wills in the world, didn't manage to kind of reach our soul's potential at that very tough lower frequency, simply because Earth was and still is at that frequency the school of hard knocks. Okay, and I think we can all agree with that. A lot of the things that we're experiencing on a negative level at the moment, things that are experiences that we would regard as bad and things that we don't want to be going through, are actually part or relatable to because of our conditioning, because of the way that we've experienced Earth, because of the things that we've been through. And we, by our nature alone, project those patterns into our reality because they're coming up for release. So if you seem to be going through kind of the washing machine, the cycle, the endless struggle of not being able to achieve or not being able to actually find happiness in what you're doing, then look to the conditioning within. Look to nurturing the inner child. Look to actually finding peace, love and joy within yourself before looking for it in the outside world. Very importantly now, we're halfway through August now already. From this point onwards, moving into kind of late summer or what's regarded as early autumn in the Northern Hemisphere, it's going to be down to simplifying what we do. Forget about what the Matrix is doing. It affects us if we are tuned into it and we're plugged into it. But ultimately, this next phase is critical in its importance about us learning the self-love, the aspect of the most difficult aspect of the Ascension pathway. Everyone's got something which triggers them. Everyone's got like the Ascension pathway kryptonite that always comes up, and it's, oh God, not this. Like I was having such a wonderful time, and then then inevitably this lesson or this particular cycle rears its head again. And for me, it is always the toughest one is the self-love. It's learning to love yourself unconditionally, and that means going through every single little thing that you've noticed about yourself, or the things that you do, or the things that you think, or the cycles that you move through, and actually sitting in stillness with that and loving it until it actually releases and changes and evolves. Because in order to be fifth dimensional, in order to actually make the statement, I live in 5D, I live in my heart, you have got to be in love with yourself first. And that doesn't mean kind of like not in the kind of the cliched way that 3D would have you think about, that selfishness. There is no selfishness in putting yourself first on this ascension pathway, or managing your self-care in a way that you have the ability to then do your job effectively, because you have restocked, you have loved yourself, you have taken that time to regenerate and to recuperate. And because of the way that this energy has moved and how pushed we've been, self-love seems to have been very much on the back burner. So for the next phase, we've walked through the Lion's Gate now. The Lion's Gate is now in its shadow phase, it's decommissioning, it's closing down. The storm layer has dissipated. The Earth Merkaba that David Esri saw so clearly is in place. So we are now in the next phase of the build, the big build, okay? The building of the fifth dimensional frequencies all around us. So in order to be utterly in tune with this, it boils down to the love of self. Are you at peace with who you are? Are you at peace with your mission? Are you at peace with those around you? Because internally you are being, if you look at your outside world, a lot of the time we're getting triggered, we're reacting to it. That is because of the entanglement that we have with our sense of inner peace. Don't let this be confused with drawing your line and standing in your sovereignty, because sometimes self-love actually boils down to creating boundaries, and sometimes you have to get pushed to create those boundaries in the first place. So we've got this beautiful flowing energy to work with now. What's the prediction? There are no predictions. We're the prediction. Okay. So we're moving into this almost having walked through a gateway into a new, bright, fresh, untarnished landscape. Around in this landscape are incredible builders, huge high frequency groups of souls working in etheric, doing their framework, putting the golden bricks in place, creating the pathways, the diamond frequency energy pathways that you see before you sometimes when you're walking into things. But I'm seeing us walking through this gateway almost kind of a little bit bemused by it all. What do I do? Where do I go? You follow your heart. Okay, you follow your heart, and we just flow with the next phase. The next phase is about gentleness, about peace, about clarity, about creating from a point of self-love to project that picture of our new reality and what we want to see in the world into action. Because believe me, in 3D there's going to be a lot of this kind of cycle of chaos, of fear, of drama, and it's going to be increasing. And that's not part of the world that we live in. Okay, these two timelines are incredible. They become more distinct by the day. They grow further apart. The forks in the road happened some time ago. Of course, we hop between the two, depending on what our thought structures are and how much self-love that we have and how much love for others and this planet and our job and our mission that we have within us. And I think a lot of you, if you did an internal assessment as within so without of where you are at the moment, you'll find that everything that's going on within you, all of the light, all of the frequencies, are much, much higher than they were 5 days ago, than they were a week ago. So just take a little bit of stock at the moment. Stop, tune into the field, tune out of any of the drama that's coming in, and be prepared to start creating for the next phase, okay? Don't be told what you're going to experience. Don't be told what you're going to create. Don't be fear-seeded is the word, because a lot of us, as we head towards the kind of the autumn and the winter month, we've kind of been almost prepped by the shadow side to be wary, because this is when things are going to occur. No, they're not. We're going to create our own occurrences at high frequency alongside this incredible group of master builders that we have around us. So that, my lovely souls, is going to be the conclusion of my Ascension update today. What an incredible energy and what an incredible time that we're living in at the moment. It's going to be some of the most interesting months that we've seen so far coming up. So remember that all is driven by you, your frequency. You are in the driving seat now. Those around you will align with you and assist you based on the setting of the vibration that you're bringing to the table here. If it aligns with the higher picture, everything flows and becomes very, very easy. When there's resistance, when there's seeming mountains to climb and constant obstacles, that is the time to go inside and start doing some inner work and actually work with the inner child, work with your soul contract, find out what might be blocking the pathway and just allow it to clear naturally. Okay, so sending you all loads of love. I'm going to be coming together with my beautiful friend Lavisa Altorn on the 18th of August to officially have a healing session to close down the Lion's Gate. Just bring all that energy in, what we've learned, what we've come in, having a good look at what's actually occurred. So much happened this time, so much. Every time it occurs, it's incredible. So please join us if you feel guided to do so. We've got a lovely session in store for you. And yeah, the other thing is I'm 50 years old tomorrow. I was born at 5:55 a.m. Good time, on the 14th of August, 50 years ago, nearly 50 years ago. So yeah, it's going to be a fun day tomorrow. See what the universe has got in store for my next phase. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye for now.